I'm going to show you how to create CRAW with 2-hole triangle beads to accompany my instructions for the astronomical clock. This is this outer ring here. It often flummoxes people, but the best thing to remember is that these triangle beads, each hole counts as one bead. So it's just regular CRAW, but each hole is a different bead. And if you remember that, then you'll find it a lot less daunting. I'm going to make it in 2 colours as per the instructions, and I'm going to show you firstly how it's done as exactly to the instructions, and then I'm going to show you a slight variation that changes the second part of the instruction slightly, but some people find that the way their beading brain works, that suits them better, so I'm going to show you both methods. So first of all, we're going to begin by picking up 3 of our main colour and 1 of the second colour. Take those down your thread, pass through them all again, and I find with this first unit of CRAW, raw essentially, you're going to find it much easier to just pass through all of those again, just keep that nice and tight. Like this. And then we want to be exiting from the bead directly opposite the second colour bead, so I'm coming out of this one here. And now I'm going to pick up a triangle. So that's the top view of the triangle as per the instructions. So I'm coming out this side, I'm going to go into the right hand hole of the triangle there. I'm going to pick up a bead, slide that all down. And go through the other hole of the triangle. So if you're going through the left hand hole, then you'd pick up the seed bead and go back through. What you want to make sure is you're going through this bead from the opposite direction to the way you came out. And yours may look like this if you flip it over with your thread coming out to the left, or it may be looking like that with your thread coming out to the right. Either way, if you turn it so it looks like mine, so that your thread's coming out to the right, it doesn't matter at this point which way up the triangle is. You're going to go through the next bead in the base. Now this is our base, this one here. And we're going to pick up 2 of your first colour again. And you're going to go through your wall, which is your triangle, and your base bead. And I'm going to go through the next bead in my base, which is this one. I'm going to pick up a colour 1 and a colour 2. And now to make my next one, I'm going to go through my previous wall. If I just flatten that out for you, you can see this is my previous wall, and then this is my base. Exactly the same as with normal CRAW. And if you fold that all up a little bit now, you'll see, so just pull it nice and snug, making sure that your triangle sits outwards and you can hang on to that. So this is the bit that people get confused on. And they think, where am I? So remember, your base is this one here. And I know it's my base because it's the only one that's got 3 of one colour and 1 of another. There aren't any other walls that are complete that look like that yet. So that's your base, and that's what you need to remember. So to go into the next one in the base, I'm currently coming out of the colour 2. This is my base. I'm going to go into the next one here, and that's actually the one with my tail thread coming out of. And now, with it all folded up, you'll be able to see that you've got 2 incomplete walls now. You've got 1 here and 1 here. So I've gone through my next bead in the base, and I've got 3 walls in place, and those 3 walls are my triangle, this little bead here, and my floor. So 2 walls in place and a floor. So I'm coming out of my base. I'm going to go up a wall. I'm going to hold on to the triangle because that's easier to show you. So at the moment, your base looks like the ceiling, but don't worry too much about that. So I've gone through my wall, which is my triangle. I'm going to pick up my final bead, and I'm going to go through my other wall, which is the one directly opposite the triangle. And I'm going to go through that base again just to kind of reinforce that. So now you've got a complete wall. And you should have a triangle with 3 seed beads around it, a triangle with 3 seed beads around it, a floor which has got 2 seed beads of 2 different colours there, and then on each side you'll have a triangle sitting like that and 3 beads of one colour and 1 of the other. So what you've got here is this is essentially what we would usually call our ceiling. And you can see that there's 4 beads in place, but they just need joining up. So we're just going to scoot through back up to that ceiling. Obviously I'm holding it upside down because it's easier to hang on to that triangle. And we're just going to join up that ceiling. Get rid of that tail thread in a bit because it's kind of annoying, but you may find it's useful to hang on to like you do in crochet, so don't snip it off until you're ready. So there we have, you've got this little nice square of 4 beads over each triangle, and between each triangle you should have a little seed bead between each hole. So that's the first unit. And now we need to start the next section. So this is the part where there's 2 variations. I'm going to talk you through it as per the instructions and then show you a second option. So what we need to do is just work round to come out of our triangle. And again, just keep reminding yourself here that you've got walls, floors and ceilings, exactly like CRAW. So on this here is my wall, my wall for my last unit, but this is now going to become our base. Okay, so the base it means we've got that in place. So I'm going to pick up a seed bead and a triangle. Now if you're not sure how to pick up the triangle, lay it down flat next to it and then you can orientate yourself depending on how your brain rotates stuff. Mine doesn't rotate very well, so I find it easiest to lay that flat. Picked up a triangle, through the nearest hole another seed bead. So you've got a seed bead, a triangle and a seed bead, and you're going to go back through that triangle, and that's going to give you 2 triangles like that with beads connecting them. Okay, so now we're going to go through the next bead in our base, which is this one. So we're going down, and I find it easiest to rotate my work as I'm stitching here. So you've always got the side that the wall that you're doing facing you at this particular time. And I'm going to pick up my colour 2 because you can see here we're working on this face here. So we've got a colour 2 and a colour 1. I'm going to go through those beads there, which is my previous wall and my base. And now I'm going to rotate because I finished that one. So my next bead in the base is this one. I'm going to pick up a colour 2 and a colour 1 and go through my wall and my base. And then I'm going to rotate it again so that the working face is looking at me. I'm going to go through that base, and you can see this is your final wall because you've got 3 in place already. So I've gone through my base and I'm going to go up through my wall, pick up my seed bead and go through my floor, my wall and my base, sorry. Like that, and then up. And I like to join each ceiling. I know some people feel that they're doing it anyway, but I think it tidies things up. So these are the 4 beads of my ceiling, and they then of course become the next base. So I'm just going to join those all up and exiting out of my triangle. I'm going to show you this one more time to join up the second holes. So we're coming out of the triangle, and this is our base here. And I'm just going to make sure I show you this exactly as per the instructions. So we are now going to do exactly the same as we did before. We're going to pick up a seed bead, go through the triangle second hole, thinking of it as just another bead, another seed bead, and back through the other triangle hole. And that's what that looks like from the top. So I'm going to go through the next bead in my base, which is this one. I'm going to pick up a seed bead and a 2 seed beads, so colour 2 and a colour 1, and go through my wall and my base. Then I'm going to rotate it over, go through the next bead in my base, pick up a colour 2 and a colour 1, go through my wall and my base, and then rotate it around, and this gives me my final wall. I'm going to go through my base and my wall, and my final seed bead to finish up that wall. And then up, and then I just want to finish up that ceiling. Oh. There we go. So you now got 3 units of CRAW with 2 triangles in them. Okay, so now I'm just going to show you a second method which I know has helped some students in the past. So we're going to start in the same way by picking up a seed bead, a triangle through the nearest hole. Remember to match them up if you need to. Take a moment once you've done that just to make sure you have picked it up the right way around. Very easily done. So now the difference with this is instead of using this bit here, this face as our base, we've now added this bit and we're going to use this bit here as our base, so the 2 triangles and the seed beads. And I think that can also help people if they get lost. So I'm going to go through, this is going to become a wall that's already in place. So I'm going to go through my next bead in the base, which is that one. I'm going to pick up a seed bead, and obviously we're doing our floor here, so 1 of each colour. Oh, the inner rim rather than the floor, sorry. Go through that one. So that's 1 wall. And my next bead in the base is the triangle, so I'm going to go through that one. Again, I like to rotate them so I can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to pick up 2 seed beads. Go through that wall and the base. And then go through the next bead in the base, which is this one. And you can see now I've got 3 beads in place, so this is going to be my final wall. So I'm going through the base and up that wall. And then picking up 1, going down through that wall, and just finish that up to come through the ceiling. And so in this instance, the ceiling, oh, see what I've done there? We need to just take that one back. That one should have been a colour too. Sorry about that. So you can see when you've gone wrong there because I didn't have the right colour there. So that one, sorry, that ceiling, we're just a final bead in the wall is part of that ceiling, and that ceiling is the one with the inner rim colours. There we go. So now you can see that your ceiling is that inner rim. So I'm just going to join those 4 beads together. And there we have it. Okay, so I'm just going to show you that one more time using the base as the triangle area. So I'm going to work through to exit out of a triangle hole. I'm going to pick up a seed bead and go through the triangle because that bead's already in place, and pick up a seed bead. So that's my beginning section again. So this is now my base. So this wall is already in place, so to go through the next bead in the base is that one. I'm going to pick up a seed bead, 1 of each colour this time, remember Chloe? Like that. I'm going to go through my next bead in the base, which is my triangle. I'm going to pick up 2, and they're all both the same colour, these ones. Go through the second hole in my triangle. And now my final bead in the base is that one between those holes, and as you can see, I've got 3 of those beads already in position. So I'm going to go up the wall, pick up a colour 2, you got it right this time, and go through that wall and that base. And then I'm going to go up the wall again and just join in all those 4 beads together. So there you have it. Just remember to rotate it so that the face you're working on is closest to you. and or you can always double check. And if it doesn't look right, if you haven't got a unit in each space and you haven't got these beads all lined up along here, then you know something has gone wrong. So I hope that helps. If you've got any questions, don't forget to get in touch, and good luck.